So, hi ma'am. Hi classmate. I'm Herman Atun. So, now this is my topic for my reporting. Concept of goal congruence. Goal congruence is defined as consistency or agreement of individual goals with company goals. Everyone in the organizations needs to be rolling in the same directions. The process gets tough when you start to set up evaluations criteria for employees. Goal congruence is a situations in which people in multiple levels of an organization share the same. A well thought out organization design causes goal congruence and results in an organization's being able to work together to accomplish a strategy. One of the ways in which effective leaders bridge the gap between the individuals and the organization's goal is by creating a loyalty to themselves among their followers. They do this by being an influential spokespersons for the followers with the higher managements. These leadership have no difficulty in communicating organizational goals to the followers, and these peoples do not find it difficult to associate the acceptance of this goal with accomplishments of their own needs satisfaction. Achieving goal congruence can be achieved, and at the same time the agency problem can be dealt with providing managers with incentive which are related to profits or share price or other factors such as pay or bonuses related to the size of profit terms as profit related to pay. A way of helping to achieve goal congruence between shareholders and manager is by the introductions of carefully designed packages for managers which would motivate manager to take decisions which were consistent with the objective of the stakeholder or shareholder. So performance incentives and disincentives. Performance means based in contracting methods are intended to ensure that required performance quality levels are achieved. Incentive is which define how the contractor will be rewarded of subsidized for performance above the required performance quality level. This incentive which define how the construction will be penalized or reprimanded for performance below the required performance quality level. So yun. Bali si incentives kasi is nag ano siya kung gaano yung kumbaga halimbawa kapag meron ka pong na-reach na kinakailangan or yung pinaka-quota is yun po. Marami po kasi ibig sabihin ng incentive. Like example na lang po is yun. Kapag na-reach mo yung quota, bali magkakaroon ka reward na tinatawag din po nila yung as incentive po. Ang disincentives naman po is yung for example na hindi mo naman po na-reach yung quota is yun nga po, penalize ka and reprimanded. Mababawasan din kasi yung performance level mo nun sa isang company. So yun po. There are two types of incentives that are allowed in FAR or tinatawag po natin floor area ratio. First is performance incentive. This may be considered in connections with a specific product or service characteristic or other specific elements of the constructor performance. This incentive should be designed to relate profit or fee to result achieved by contractor compared with specific target. Next is cost incentive. Most incentives contract include only cost incentive, which take the forms of a profit or fee adjustment formula and are intended to motivate the constructor to effectively manage costs. No incentives contract may provide for other incentive without also providing a cost incentive. So, yan po. Bali, meron din po dito the currently used in the government's contracting. First is incentive fees. Second is share in saving. Third is early comprehension bonuses. Fourth is profit or fee pools. And the last one is award term. Then, role of non-executive directors. A non-executive director is typical does not engage in the day-to-day management of the organizations, but is involved in policy making and planning exercise. A non-executive director's responsibilities include the monitoring of the executive directors and acting in the interest of the company stakeholders. Since non-executive directors do not hold C-levels or managerial positions, they are taught to understand the interests of the company with a greater objectively than the executive director, who may have an agency problems or conflict of interest between management and stakeholders or other stakeholders. Understanding non-executive directors. Non-executive directors are put in place to challenge the directions and performance of a company as well as its existing team. Additional non-executive directors are often installed on a firm's board for public relationship reasons. For instance, a particular non-executive director's community standing, a record of philanthropy, and prior experience could provide positive exposure and symbolic value for the firm. The NEDs or the non-executive directors' key accountabilities are as follow. First is providing an external and independent view on the running of the business, providing independent counsel to the chairman and group of CEO, providing independent oversight and challenge and ensuring with the board of the company as a whole, providing original input and contributions to the board meeting and where appropriate, providing scrutiny of executive and business performance in meeting agreed strategy, plan, goals, and objective, ensuring Bupa deliveries fair outcomes for its customer, ensuring with the board as a whole that the group is operating within the risk, appetite, and risk management framework agreed by the board, participating in the board committees as necessary. And the last one is regularly updating and refreshing their skill, knowledge, and familiarity with the business, risks to the business and the regulatory environment. So ito po yung mga accountabilities na nakapaloob sa NEDs po natin, or tinatawag po natin non-executive directors po. So bali hanggang dito lang po ang aking report. Thank you po.